day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. Slow-moving traffic on Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Expect delays as you're heading down. And further up on Shamrock Road, moving along moderately. Further down, a little different story as traffic is steadier as you approach the lane for Pearson Highway and coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. As we look to downtown Georgetown, Edward Street flowing at a moderate pace, as well as on Shedden Road. And on the West Bay Road in front of Ritz, traffic is flowing pretty good in both directions, surprisingly. And coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic is flowing at a good pace. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic flowing pretty good. Owen Roberts Drive, no issues there as traffic is light to moderate. Now, if you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. On North Sound Road, steady but flowing traffic. Industrial Park area, traffic is at a moderate pace. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman, your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start to their day so far, Thursday, October 16th. And I am quite excited for this topic right now because you heard me teasing it a little bit in the past couple of months. I started talking about a DOT procurement issue that had happened with Canadian agencies, and that's what sparked this procurement series that we are having today. I had the Central Procurement Office on with me at the end of September. We got a general understanding of how the Procurement Office works. And today we're having a roundtable discussion with entrepreneurs that go through the procurement process. So it can be a mix of opportunity and frustration, but the process really is meant to ensure transparency, fairness, and value for money. But in practice, a lot of people feel that it favors larger firms, lacks clarity, or creates barriers that make it difficult for smaller or specialized local businesses to compete. And that's exactly what we're going to be hearing about today. So we are joined by three guests who know this process firsthand, representing three different industries: creative marketing, construction, and furniture and interior design. Our goal this morning is to understand their experiences with the procurement process, the good, the bad, and the lessons learned, and to discuss Cayman's procurement process, how it could evolve to better support transparency, competition, and local participation. I do want to note that at the beginning of October, the Auditor General did put out a financial report. It was on 2024. It was published just at the beginning of October. You can go to the Auditor General's website to find that, but in there was quite scathing details about the procurement office. They were responsible for nearly 80% of all non-compliance breaches across government. So in saying that, there's a lot that could be improved with procurement. I would like to welcome my guests, Mr. Robert Wood from Robert Wood's Furniture and Interiors. We have Sanjay Burrell, Jordan Construction, and Keevon Douglas from HD Digital, who also had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to you, Keevon, and good morning. Welcome to the guests.
Morning. Thank you.
How's everybody doing?
Morning, Kathy. Good.
You guys are good.
Feeling older. More mature and more seasoned,
Oh,
experience.
I'm going to save my seasoned happy birthday song for you at the end. I don't want to scare anybody away right away. But happy birthday. I hope you really had a blessed day, and I do hope you celebrate.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, thanks for being here this morning. And we're just going to launch right into the discussion here. I want to let our listeners know that I'm going to be opening phone lines a little bit later, not right away in this discussion, because I want to get through the details of their experiences first, okay? So to start, if each of you could share what your experience has been like bidding on government contracts, and if you could give us an idea if the contracts you're bidding for, if they're under the $100,000 range or over it, or even under the $10,000 range, which isn't a public process.
I could start off. I've bid on jobs under 100 and over 100,000, and the experience has been bittersweet, I would say. So, depending on which ministry the job comes from, you can get quality feedback or not. So, that's been my experience bidding on government jobs.
So the feedback that's kind of so-so for you.
Yes.
That's has that come with the under the $100,000 contracts? Okay. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the ones that are over $100,000, you're supposed to be getting feedback from the procurement office, from what I understand.
Yes.
Right. Have you received that?
From some ministries.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yes. Mr. Wood, what about you?
I'd have to second Sanjay's sentiments completely. It's honestly, this bonfire thing is a nightmare. But I'll the defining strategies of this, how it's laid out and how it goes, and getting the correct feedback, like he rightly says, on what it is, and knowing what is written there and defining the substance of that, and how much time you have within the scope of the bid to get the correct information and such. It's very hard to negotiate.
So the time frame is one of the big frustrations that you have with.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With the procurement process.
I don't think that the people sending out these things realize what that involves, right? And how much it is that goes into that.
Sometimes
Plus,
I think they do know what is involved.
Could very well be so too. And what the expense is that a small business has to outlay in order to gain that information.
Okay.
And the capital investment that goes into it and getting nothing back from it, basically. Because it's so hard, like Sanjay just said, you get no response. You're not told at times whether or not, well, were you within $100 of the bid? Were you within $500? You're not even informed, even though they say that you're supposed to be informed.
So they're supposed to be publishing the contracts awarded, right? Unless it's so anything
yeah.
under $10,000 has to be published within a year, which to me is crazy. Because why? That's
exactly.
$10,000. That should be like next day. But if it's anything $100,000 or over $10,000,
prime example,
you have 30 days that you have to post that.
A prime example of that right now is right. We have a change order on a project that we're doing. It came in over, I think, just under 12,000 or around 11,000 some. The person in charge says, "Oh no, we can't go with that because we'll have to go back for bonfire for a bid." It's a change order within it. So what do? They give it to somebody else that tells them they can do it for less, and I'm left holding the bag.
And can you clarify for me, is a change order something within your process already, like you can't get a certain supply of something, and then you have
no,
to,
it's the cost. It's the cost of doing the business primarily, and the
Okay.
projects that you find, especially when you're in renovation business. No renovation is going to, yet you can pin it down
Yes.
to say that it's going to be
Exact.
$10 or it's going to be $15.
Right,
It's
to the
always
penny.
something inside of that you're going to find.
I would assume there's some sort of a clause in the agreements that allows for room for these changes. Okay. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We all know what happens there.
Just
Okay.
to piggyback off of what Robert is saying, a lot of times, say for instance, we're renovating this room and remove the wall, we realize, oh, the studs are rotten. We need to replace the studs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
this is what I'm.
He did the discovery and realized what was wrong. Could have been a plumbing issue. And he presents to you a cost.
Right.
This is my finding. This is how we can remediate it. And now you take that information and go and get another contractor to give you a lower price.
Right.
But he did the work of discovering what the issue was and what you need to fix it. So he invested his time and expertise, and you took it, run to another contractor who may or may not give you the same quality of work.
So the contract would not have been awarded to you as yet, and you would have discovered this and made the.
No, it would have been
Okay.
it would have been awarded, but when we get in, just like what Sanjay is saying, when we get into the wall,
That's crazy.
it's you're going to find these things. I got a job just like exactly like what he just said.
Which is why I asked the question: is there anything in the contract clause that would say, there has to be room for little changes? Like, you never know what's going to happen, especially in construction.
There's nothing in there.
Okay, that's
You
doesn't
gotta-
seem very feasible.
You got to come back. You got to go back to them. You got to tell them, and then they go back and say, "Oh, well, this is that," and give us a price, and we'll go back and get this.
That's
And-
ridiculous.
And you're sitting waiting.
That's ridiculous. That's a
But
waste
then
of
when you
time.
come back, like I just said, you get, I was called this week, and I was told that, okay, the price I was given, we got it down. We moved things around and brought it down. Guy came back and said to me, "Oh, well, we got it now for X amount. There's a guy that's going to come in and do it." So
That's
you
just
That
seems, it's like starting a surgery and finding that there's another extra,
Exactly.
another problem with that patient.
Yeah.
And then you informing whoever you got to inform, and let's just stop the surgery and find a different hospital with it's going to cost us less. That's crazy.
I think
That's
the big thing is business and working for somebody is two different things. So it's two different languages happening. So the people that we communicate to don't understand our language, and then don't understand the pain point. So he spoke about, discovering that there's time, energy, and money. There's a cost to that, and then they just don't comprehend that, right? And it's a very painful thing for somebody like us. So what I like to do is anytime I'm talking to somebody who doesn't understand business, I'm always trying to circle it back and give an analogy. So imagine right now you leave your day job. What are you going to do? How are you going to fend for yourself? And imagine when you try to fend for yourself, you're fought with all of this. Like, that is what we have to go through, right? But then we're also spoken to in a certain type of way. We're talked down to, and it's just because people don't understand how difficult this is. This is extremely hard.
and I feel like they also might not understand exactly what they're doing either at times.
Oh, 100%.
At times.
But I also want to circle this back to the general public. Let's just say, for example, since we're talking about construction and everything, the last time when we spoke off air just now, talked about systems. It's going to always come back down to your system, right? But how this affects the general public that is listening right now, let's just use the mental health facility that they develop. This is a perfect example of why that's going to take 8 years. This back and forth conversation with different vendors, different construction, different findings of this is wrong. Now you got to speak to somebody else. Government operates or should operate as a business. But I do want to also say something is that I'm also very happy with this current government that we have. I think a lot of them are business minded. So a lot of these problems that we have, I think we need to direct it at them because they understand business, right? And this is, even one or two of them have said that they're not going to be career politicians. And their goal is to sit there and change the way politics work, which is supposed to help us. So I just want to add that in, that
Gotcha.
I feel that we will start to have a change, not to say that that's going to be instant, right? This is a big problem, and like you said, those numbers are pretty large. 57 violations. That's 80%.
Yeah.
Right? That is high. So we are not here for no reason. Let's just make that clear. So nobody think this is us picking on them. Because that is where I think when we spoke to Kenneth Bryan last time, instantly it is to defend the civil servants. We're not picking at civil servants. I think the civil servants work extremely hard. You're a civil servant, and I know you can agree with what I'm saying. But there's some issues there that we need to resolve.
100%. We got to take a commercial break. When we come back, Keevon, I want to hear from you about your experience in bidding for projects.
Summer's heating up and the water's calling. From cruising the coast on your board to riding Yamaha Wave Runners, Automotive Art Cayman will get you ready. We offer expert servicing by Yamaha certified staff, as well as engine repairs, performance upgrades, engine and electrical installation, and more. Need it tuned, cleaned, repaired, or race ready? We'll keep you running smooth, whether you're riding waves or racing them. Trust Automotive Art for expert service and upgrades. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto RKY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Tune in to Radio Cayman's sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, keeping the island connected with the music you love and the vibes you grew up with. Switch over and stay with us. Breeze 105.3 FM, always here for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. We are having a procurement roundtable discussion. We're trying to understand the experience that entrepreneurs go through when bidding for procurement projects through government. And in studio with me, I have Robert Wood from Robert Wood's Furniture and Interiors, Sanjay Burrell from Jordan Construction, and Keevon Douglas from HD Digital. Keevon, I had asked if you could share your experience in bidding for government contracts. What has it been like?
I mean, similar, bittersweet, ups and downs. And I think that is generally how business goes. So, I expect the ups and I expect the downs. But when you try to understand the downs, let's just say, for example, to touch on the pricing, maybe you lose a bid and you want to try to find out why. You are allowed to question and ask why. Right. And sometimes you will get a response that is just very condescending, vague, right? There's no communication. right? And it's difficult.
How does that feel for you when you get that kind of a response?
I mean, I think at this stage, I've been in business over 10 years. I over it. I understand it, and hence why I'm here. I know I'm not gonna say who said it, but somebody said, there's a blackball issue, because once you do talk up, even if you do question a bid you lost, right, they will look at it and say, we're not gonna actually send anything over to him again, because now it's requiring them to put in more work than they should, right? So, we were speaking just now off air about some more of the process, and I always try to circle it to a problem for the island, because I think in general, as business owners, we are the few. So we need to be able to connect to the masses to make people understand that this is a bigger thing than just us as business owners. And I will go out and I will say that I think one of the biggest problems within government is a procurement issue, because it's a spending problem. So government ultimately has a spending problem. This has been acknowledged, but this is where it starts.
Yes.
Right? So, because it's not their money, they're spending it in different ways. Favoritism, allegedly, is going on. But then again, there's no smart spending either. Right? So this is, I think, one of the bigger issues where you'll look at it and it's, what is procurement? Procurement is the cause of why they're spending. For example, if somebody is awarded $10,000 jobs and maybe there's a cap for said spend in said industry, because they're awarding multiple $10,000 jobs, they've probably exceeded that cap so much times because they didn't select one vendor. So this is where your spending is going wrong. This is a big problem. This is a massive problem that nobody's understanding. And then when you put biasness inside there, that's another problem, because these are compounding problems.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Right. So, and it is compounds and compounds and compounds. And I mean, you talk about lack of communication. I like to bring my receipts.
I can do it.
I mean, these
I
are
love
multiple
receipts.
emails, and this is just a few. I print around the paper to be honest with you, but no response. We spend time putting together documents, and we don't get no response. And it is. It's bad customer service.
It's just completely disrespectful to me.
Very
because
disrespectful.
It can be weeks. For some people, it can be months to put together, depending on the kind of project it is, to put together the proposal.
I've had a chief officer look me dead in my face and basically said to me, she basically said, how you deal with me has repercussions, right? So basically what she's saying to me, or she said in other words, is she's going to dictate how much money I make, right? And this is a Caymanian, right? Talking to another Caymanian. And I sat there and I didn't say a single word. I spoke to her very recently, She
I
right
ask
here.
how you feel about it.
I'm very monotone with, I deal with things differently now, especially, birthday yesterday, I'm older, I'm more mature. But I instructed her and I let her know, dealing with me has the same repercussions as well, because I can open my mouth.
Fire for fire, all right.
But it's because I have a civil right to be able to discuss these things, right? And that's my right. And never forget, you are a civil servant.
And the idea that allegedly somebody is placing that kind of fear,
fear
in another business owner, in the Cayman Islands,
and said that in front of somebody too, I might add, right? So that's mafia mentality. Yeah. So if the 2018 Procurement Act came into place really in 2018 to make sure that it mitigate the problem of biasness with ministers, it's been now passed down to the civil servants. So now we have the civil servants doing the same exact thing, where allegedly there's going to be favoritism, right? And there's certain problems within the system that's allowing that to happen based on what we spoke about off air, because every ministry is allowed to basically dictate their own rules.
Yes, when it comes under a certain value for the project.
Yes.
So if it's under 100,000, it does not have to go on the procurement website, right? So it won't be on there. If it's and at that time they can do a request for quotes, meaning it's just 3 quotes they need to get, and there's no per se. Every ministry and department can have their own policy on how to deal with it, right? But how that already lends to an uneven playing field.
Interpretation of the law.
Interpretation.
Right?
And why isn't it a standard across all ministries and all departments? And that's where it can get really sticky, because there's no real explanation as to why people choose the quotes that they want. Although they're supposed to write justification as to why that quote was chosen, in case, Keevon, you're my brother or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go hire our uncle's company with that, right? But there has to be written justification. They have to apparently sign some sort of no conflict of interest document. However, if there has been 57 violations across 20 public bodies, and the AG himself saying that it is, I'm going to find that it is a systemic thing, but the AG himself saying that it's widespread and systemic non-compliance, and saying, quote, it's disappointing that many of these instances are recurring from previous years, lending him to think people just don't understand the process or are blatantly ignoring it. And if you're blatantly ignoring a process, how do you fix it?
That's a good point. However, I think there's, to take off from Keevon, it is the understanding of how to go through this whole thing. And I think that the people who are behind the scenes there may or may not know. I don't think all of them know what they're requesting or what they're asking for. And some do, some don't. And I've seen that happen. I have gone out there and I've spent countless hours trying to educate them on my experience, the training that I have gone out there and done to better myself, for a better understanding of it. And it's totally ignored to the fact. So how do you get around that with these people? You don't really know.
So I think that's where the bonfire would come in, because bonfires, from my understanding, is able to be automated. So what is happening is it is a human element being put back in when you have the ability to have bonfire score everything and it is dumped into a system. That is not being used by departments, right? So they're doing it essentially the old school way, and they're looking at it like that's, I think they need to learn that better, so that we can have it automated and then there's no biasness inside of there. That's, from my understanding, is what is not also happening.
I like that solution. It's a good idea.
No, but it's not an idea. It is there to be used. Question is now the enforcement.
Well, for them to learn to use it better or
and
in a more efficient way.
Then everybody who's dealing with it should also go take a business course, right? And see what it is to do business. Because you're dealing with business owners. So, if you're dealing with homeowners, you got to know their pain points, right? We're doing business, right? We got to be able to, this is a door that swings both ways, all right? And I think when I speak to civil servants, they assume that door just swings this way because we're doing you a favor, sir.
Right.
That is the problem, Is this constant, let's look down at this little Caymanian with his little business, right? And again, do you know how hard this is? And if it's that little, leave your good paying government job and go do what I'm doing.
Ooh.
Right? But this is the thing for me, it's the I don't know, man.
No, Keevon, you really hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah,
you're right.
It is.
You're
it's
right.
it's
people don't appreciate the difficulties that entrepreneurs have. What you have to do to run your business, the time that it takes. Robert, when you said sometimes it's just a couple of weeks and it's a massive project and you're supposed to spend magically you're supposed to get this done. And look at the team you have. And it's been suggested to me that perhaps there should be like subcontracting going on. So if it's a big project, companies can get together and, we'll take this part of the bid and, we'll work on it. And I get that. But man, for all of us who have done a group project, we know how that goes as well. Right? And that's just, why are we making it even more difficult on our people? We got to go to commercial break right now. When we come back, we're going to keep on with this discussion. It's getting hot.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With 2 models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Attention Cayman, transform your kitchen for less with Granite Express Cayman. Skip the Christmas rush and take advantage of our year-end promotion. Offer is valid until October 31st. Refresh your space with our cabinet respray services and quartz countertops for as low as $3,950. Selected material. If you only need a countertop, prices start at $2,250. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit Granite Express Cayman today or call 922-0424 for our free estimate. Granite Express, quality stone, unbeatable prices.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. We did get a comment via WhatsApp, and right after 9, I'm going to try to open the phone lines, but I just feel like our conversation is going really, really good right now that I really want to hear from our guests in studio as well. So if you do call in, I'm going to ask that if you have an experience to please keep it brief, share it with us. I do want to hear, but I also want to hear from our guests that are here. The comment that came in via WhatsApp says, "Good morning, Kathy. Great show. I would like to add several issues I've had with procurement department, and we have ceased bidding core and SAGC work since 2021. 1. Procurement should have mandatory training for all bidders, as alignment is necessary and not all bidders are on the same level of understanding. The website to me is easy to use and intuitive, but they should educate some bidders that require on-contract wording and terms. I was in private sector bidding for 20 years, and several practices with this department deviate from industry best practices. Regarding the issue stated by your guests of bringing in another contractor to complete work already in their scope," I'm the one who actually mentioned that, "there is a clause for this in the contracts. I've experienced this before, but these are the clauses that should be discussed in the trainings I recommend. I can share other issues with them, but I think your guests have it covered. Hopefully your show will stir the pot for change. Well done." So thank you to our listener your contribution right there. All right, so we're thinking that there's definitely a problem with the bonfire process, and the solution, Keevon, that you said, there is that measuring matrix system they have. They just need to really use it.
I think it's a problem with the departments, with that human element. And if it goes through bonfire, whether it's over 100,000, over 250,000, should even be 10,000. Put it on there and let the system work. And right now, the departments are not using bonfire as they should. And from my understanding, and if anybody wants to correct me, it has an automated system. So if we submit, the scoring matrix should score everybody fairly. And then now that is when it should really and truly go to said chief, right? These are the 10 people who made it. In HR, that's what they do. My mother is in HR, and don't call her and be like, oh, I know said person. Can you help? No, it has to go through the matrix, right? So and don't get me wrong, like everywhere in the world is going to have some form of biasness. Like, that's the human element. That's part of being a human. But that number of what was it?
It was 57 violations. Nearly 80% of non-compliance issues are due to the procurement process in 2024.
I just hope that the new government is listening.
They are.
I tagged them last night.
Are.
I tagged them last night.
I saw you. So from your perspective then, the procurement process as we have it right now, do you find it clear and accessible to small and medium-sized businesses?
Finding the bid on bonfire is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's anything over $100,000, right?
If it goes there.
If it goes there.
I would love to know a number of, let's just say
everything is supposed to go there, and if they're not, that's another huge violation
let's
for over $100,000.
Let's do this. We have the Cayman Islands government. Let's just say they do 100 procurements per month. I would love to know the number of how much of that 100 goes on bonfire and how much is secretly being done within the emails. Then we will have
But that, they would be breaking the law.
Well, then they are breaking the law every single month.
I mean, and we know that they're breaking law because there's been 57 violations of that.
So what's the punishment for that?
It's 57 I don't know what the punishment is for that.
Because that's the next thing, right? Like I can what's
good question,
violations are
not even
cool
what's
and everything.
What's going to be done about that?
Yeah. So what's the if it's a department, then if this department has 10 and this one has 2, we need to look at that 10.
Who signed off on things?
Right. And then
who's gathering the quotes? What's that? But these are invested, and this is where you get blackballed because this is where you ask these kind of questions. So
exactly.
Here we are.
You don't get paid.
I guess I've got some broad shoulders. All right. What parts for you guys are the most confusing or discouraging? I mean, clearly you're not getting feedback, so I know that's quite discouraging right there.
Yes, that is discouraging, especially given that a lot of these RFQs, they specify when they would like to get the project started. So to be a good contractor in the Cayman Islands, you have to have a quality team, right? So you try your best not to go on the road and pick up Joe Smo. Yeah. So when they give you that potential timeline, you're trying to align that with the other jobs you have going on. So when they leave you in limbo and say, well, we're not going forward with this project or we've awarded it to someone else, you sit in limbo until a time of, do I take on more or do I wait until I hear back from government on this job? And, it's frustrating. Because then it passes and like, what happened? You don't know what happened. And if I could touch on bonfire and the point system, I think that is really unfair how they have the point set up. So, for example, I'm bidding on a project right now, and they're asking for you to provide 3 to 5 projects similar to what you're bidding on, and they'll award you 10 points. Usually it's out of 100 points. They'll award you 10 points. But if somebody else can show them 6 to 8 jobs, they get 20 points. So in that, if I can show you 5 jobs, I get a maximum of 10. But if Robert show you 6, he can get a maximum of 20 points. That's a 1 job difference.
Right.
And when it comes to references, you're only asking for 2 to 3 references. So you're only going to verify 2 jobs. But someone can get 20 points. You're going to verify the same 2 jobs that I give you as reference, and I get 10 points.
I have a question, though. So if knowing that you can get 20 points by showing the 6th job, for example, why wouldn't you show that?
You may not have the 6th.
The threshold.
Okay.
So certain jobs have to be over $500,000.
Okay.
A lot of small contractors might not have that. We might have a lot of $200,000, $150,000 jobs, but we don't have that $500,000 or $1 million job.
Okay. So their examples that they're asking you is part
specific,
of that in fairness.
Because you have to show the project and the project value.
Got you. Okay.
And within a certain number of years, I mean.
Yeah, 5 years.
Right, yeah. Right.
To that. So
right. A bigger company with a lot more people can get a lot more done, per se.
Exactly.
Right.
And a lot of these larger contractors are even financing their own projects now.
Yeah.
So they always have a list of current projects that they can present.
They can do.
And if you look at how you intro the show talking about the Canadian company, so that was I think a $1.5 million contract, and they did a red alert on a department, and basically they wanted them to lay out a year's worth of work
down to the penny of the marketing budget, down to the penny.
No,
as a marketer, I would never give you that in my life.
Right, and that's to his point, right? Like, you're asking for things that reality don't make sense. It's like, why are we? It's like sometimes, and I don't really agree with the schooling system, but a lot of the stuff inside there you don't ever use, right? So something like that, you're not using it. Why are you requiring it? So it's an unnecessary hoop for somebody who has a lot of restraints already to add more.
Yeah.
Right. It is unnecessary, and then there's what it is. I have it literally at the beginning of my notes. Lack of empathy. A lack of empathy is really what is happening. A severe lack of empathy and understanding, which is essentially empathy.
Yeah.
I made a note here. I said the RFP should be kept to locals only. That was from last night when I was looking at this.
Yeah, there was another guest that I was trying to bring on the show, and I very much appreciated the information that they were able to share with me. And I said, could you even just prepare a statement? And a different industry as well. And that person said, I can't, because even the smallest thing that I might reveal to you, our industry is very, very small. So the smallest detail will reveal who I am. And I already, I know that people are getting blackballed per se. So it was spoken in the sense that an RFP was put out, and as ministry should, they're looking for other industry experts to help them put together that RFP. And allegedly, that company that the ministry worked with to put together the RFP for the local contractors to bid on, they ended up being awarded the job.
That should be a conflict of interest.
It's a huge conflict of interest. And I can't give the example. I can't, because it'll be very obvious who it is. And we don't want to take money and opportunity away from that person, but it's a very and this is a brilliant person. That's a very real example of what's going on.
And that's the mafia that I'm talking about. It operates as a mafia, and you have to be in it to understand it. You're hearing us, and you might not understand it, but think mafia.
Yeah. We got to go to that. Okay, go ahead. You got a minute to give your note.
I was just going to say the same thing in that realm, right? I bid on a job, and I gave a true value of market value for that job. That job was awarded to someone for $30,000 when it should have been a $50,000 job.
Yeah, we can talk about that too.
All right, let's go to the 9 a.m. headline news. When we come back, we're going to keep this discussion going. Some great info here.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your latest headlines. Economic growth in the Cayman Islands is projected to continue through 2028. That according to the strategic policy statement presented Wednesday in Parliament. The Economics and Statistics Office expects the economy to expand by 2.6% in 2025, followed by moderate growth through 2028, driven by financial services, infrastructure, and tourism. The Ministry of Finance forecasts operating surpluses rising from $6.56 million in 2026 2026 to nearly $14 million in 2028, with revenues over the 3-year period totaling just under $3.9 billion, with expenditures slightly lower at $3.83 billion, maintaining cash reserves above statutory requirements. In international headlines, for the first time in more than a decade, U.S. obesity rates are showing signs of improvement. A new report from Trust for America's Health finds 19 states had adult obesity rates of 35% or higher in 2024. That's down from 23 the year before. Officials say this decline signals modest progress, but warn it's too early to call it a trend. Federal health leaders credit prevention programs and possibly new GLP-1 weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound for helping turn the tide. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the federal government will withhold $40 million from California for failing to enforce English language rules for truck drivers. The move follows a deadly crash in Florida that drew attention to truck licensing standards. While Duffy accuses California of ignoring safety regulations, Governor Gavin Newsom's office insists the state follows the law and has one of the lowest truck crash rates in the nation. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. We are having a procurement roundtable discussion. In studio with me, I have Robert Wood from Robert Wood's Furniture and Interiors, Sanjay Burrell from Jordan Construction, and Keevon Douglas from HD Digital. And if you see Keevon, don't forget to give him a big happy birthday because he just celebrated a birthday. Still young at heart. Yesterday, he had that birthday. So, talking about procurement, one of the last things I was saying is about how that RFP, the request for proposals, will get put together. So, for any of you, have you ever felt any instances or heard of where you felt the RFP was written in a way that seemed tailored to a specific company or outcome?
Well, I have. Like I was just saying, I did a bid, and this goes back, and knowing me, I guess they blackballed me anyway, so I don't really... I don't really mind. I ain't going nowhere but right here, and they're all mine, so they better be prepared.
I always get the rebels. I love it. Thank you.
But it you know, when you go to bid on this thing, and this was a particular one where we're talking about the lighting situation, one of the areas of business that I'm in, and they give you where to go for the bid on this, and I'm like, why am I going to go to this person? This person, when I called them up for the bid, the person told me, they said, if I were you, I wouldn't be bidding on this. We have the job.
Oh, wow.
You know, it says we did the last job, and we're going to be doing this one.
What a slap in the face.
Exactly. And they know full well. I was at a presentation meeting whereby they brought in people from overseas, from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Society, Whom I know, right? They knew the type of lighting it had. It's all there. But they're going to go and they're going to put it on bonfire. How many people in Cayman is going to bid on bonfire for lighting of that stature?
Not too many.
Of that nature, right? The guy told me plain straight. I called the company, you know.
What did you do from that point?
I just closed my file. What was the point?
So you didn't try to challenge with...
No.
Okay, all right. Is there a reason why you didn't want to challenge it?
No, because I might have exploded.
Okay.
And it just wastes more time and energy.
And it's more time and energy wasted.
Yeah. So you don't.
What do you do?
You just move on. That way, you ask me how would I react?
Yeah.
You don't take it on grateful for opportunities like this.
But you also want the feedback, so it's you know what I mean. It's like
I had an associate that did what you said, tried to follow up on a project. Why she didn't win the job? They told her pricing was great, her proposal was great, her business outline, her schedule, everything was great. But regarding her schedule, she had it that she would start 2 months in advance, and they wanted to start now, whereas the other contractor had it that he could start immediately. But it didn't specify in the RFQ that it needed to start immediately. She just gave a template of, if we start here, we can finish there.
Knowing how long government takes to decide on things, yes.
But essentially, she lost that job because she didn't state she could start immediately when that wasn't a requirement.
And wouldn't have known that she had to do that.
Right. That's ridiculous.
Communication issue again.
Yeah.
And then for them, it's nothing, right? For them, it's
right.
It's a box check.
But that could have been, I don't know the project, it could have been a multi-million-dollar one, and it could have taken her a couple months to put that bid together.
Yeah.
I have a quote out there right now. Just one. The manufacturers called or emailed me. Now, I can't tell you how many times, but it's been well over a year that this has been back and forth, and every time we go back in and out. Well, we haven't gotten around to adjusting that yet. What do? I mean, you're embarrassed to know, right? We're asked to grow our businesses here on the island, but we can't grow them because our hands are tied.
I do want to correct something you said, though.
No problem.
You called us rebels. Very careful with words in marketing, right? I would almost be like, if anything, we talking about rebels, and that's 80%. So
I think a rebel is somebody who speaks up and stands up for things that they see that are going wrong when everybody else wants to just, drink the Kool-Aid.
Majority, I think, in movies and stuff like that, rebels aren't really portrayed as that. They're rebels and they're the unruly ones. I get it, and I'll take that any day too. But at the same time, we are up here risking our livelihood and our relationships to hopefully make a difference, right? So if we can choose a different word than rebel.
Well, now you know where my definition of the word was intended for.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm playing, but you know what I'm saying too,
I do,
right? Like, I think I don't want to get lost in the sauce of like why we actually here, because I think along the way we can sound like we're crying over spilt milk. That's not what we're doing. This is why I always try to.
We want to learn what's going on.
Yeah,
the whole process.
And I think civil servants, the government on the whole, we are your partners, right? You should be able to listen, right? And as leaders, your number one trait should be to listen. And unfortunately, as human beings, this is one of our most difficult things to do because we are so emotionally driven. Yeah. Or this is nothing to do with emotions. This is logics that we're talking now. And we are operating in a business world. And it should be looked at as such.
I'm gonna be honest. If I bid for something over and over again and I'm being rejected and I'm not getting any feedback and I'm asking for it, I'm gonna absolutely feel it's gonna destroy a part of me in that sense. And there's so many people who have said we're never bidding again. So have been in that, like we're never, and it's just
this is an issue. And then going back to the time constraints on delaying stuff, there's a festival coming up that nobody hasn't heard about, and I'm pretty sure any delay with marketing, I'm guessing, all right? So don't quote me on this. Any delay on marketing of why you don't see Pirates Week, more than likely is a procurement issue, right? Any delay of any artist that you don't see, more than likely is a procurement issue. So we're sacrificing the quality of our island. And then, you know what happens? That is tied to tourism.
Yeah.
That's a tourism product. So you understand this isn't a situation where you should be checking boxes 24/7. Again, this is not an attack on civil servants. It is to understand the bigger picture, and I don't think sometimes we understand the why of or the consequence of this, you know. So some issues here we got solved, and I hope that this new government is listening and is willing to sit down with us, and anybody else that is willing to sit down and say, here's how we make our product better. Ultimately, as business owners, every business owner will tell you, we have a problem, and what do we think? Solution.
Right.
Right.
And
So
that's what we're also trying to get at that a little bit, right? We're trying to get some solutions. We're hearing about the bad. We also want to know some of the good experiences as well, because I know you've had them.
Definitely.
And procurement office, I mean, to me, they've said, we know that there's problems and we are doing our best to try to tackle and fix it. They've been open. They came on the show previously in September. They knew we were having this roundtable. They're bracing themselves for it. I know they're listening. Hi, guys. And they're going to be coming back on to have the discussion again, to talk about what we were speaking about here, and clearly what's been in that AG report, right, that I'd mentioned. So for me, it is about constructive conversation.
Yeah.
And which is why we have to have it, because these are the realities of what people are going through. This is the realities of the government is not perfect, doesn't always follow its own policies and procedures per se. We're supposed to. It doesn't always happen. So it's how do we kind of fix those cracks? So in saying, you know, I did tell people they could call in if they have a comment. I didn't give you the numbers, 925-3261. That's for WhatsApp, call or text, 949-6990, 949-8037, or 1-800-534-8255. I want to hear about good experiences, because it's not all bad.
Any projects I win, it has been a good experience.
Sanjay's bidding right now, so we've got to put the icing on the cake a little bit.
I've won a few projects on Bonfire, and the key thing for those ones that I won, the RFQ to me matched what the job required. So throughout the whole bidding process, I felt confident that yes, this is what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see other RFQs that don't match that kind of template, yeah, why such a great deviation?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that can be something that they look into, where they try to standardize the requirements.
System.
Yes.
You need a grading
So
system.
if you're doing a $250,000 fit out, the requirements you're asking should match that. It shouldn't be the same standard for a $10 million job, the same for a $100,000 job. That's a lot of input. That's a lot of expertise, a lot of time that for small companies we can't afford to dedicate that much all the time. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that one.
I have a good one, a good positive story. So I won a bid, and I'll even mention in the department. It was tourism, right? So they approached me.
Is it going to be May? Does it have to do the month of May?
No. Oh, wait, what was that? Was that
Out of This World?
Yes. So I won that, and as I do creative work as well, not just marketing. They sat me down and they actually listened to me. So shout out to. Can I mention my name?
You know, if it's good stuff,
yeah, Malcolm,
shout it out.
Mm-hmm. And I think Ricardo, hopefully I said that right, but sat me down and took the constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that creatives suffer in Cayman is, number one, they don't understand their value. When you have somebody like me who's been in business for a while, I know my value, know how much time it takes to do something, so therefore you know your value,
mm-hmm.
right? And what somebody gets from your product. They sat me down, they listened to me, and I said, I don't do video that much anymore. So if I was to take this on, I would need creative direction. Or I would need to have creative direction of everything, the look and the feel. I take what you say into consideration, but ultimately I'm controlling the flow of the end product in a sense, right? They allowed that. I needed to be tagged in the post. They allowed that, right? And what that got me is recognition from Ludacris. Yeah. So Ludacris followed me, messaged me. He wanted a video. But this is the collaborative effort that the government needs to be doing holistically. Be better collaborative people. collaborative industries. It just works better for everybody, because that same video that I did for the Department of Tourism at the time only got 18,000 views. But
I think it was my very first reshare on IG, by the way.
Nice, see there? And then after that, when I collaborated with Ludacris, that video got 1.4 million views. Now, because they allowed me to have creative direction, I got to now add that secret sauce.
Yeah.
Right? Where they're basically, they would tell you point and shoot. If you look at it after too, I'm not going to take credit, but I'm going to take credit.
You pop your collar, Keevon. It's an amazing video.
I'm going to take credit where before we weren't given the right to collaborate with the Instagram page of Visit Keevon. So now you see, a lot of collaborative posts with creatives, right?
Yeah.
And that's because they listened.
Yeah.
So that's the good. They were able to listen to understand that this needed to happen, because now we reach a broader demographic. It's not about restraining and owning and having power over a creator. A creator works outside of a box.
Yeah.
Right? Respect that and work with that rather versus trying to control everything. And again, now what was 18,000 went to 1.4, which is great for Keevon. Right? This allows people to discover us. Right? And the goal is getting more exposure for the island. And that right there was a perfect example of how collaborative works.
Right.
And not
and
just
listening.
And listening.
And applying what you
So shout out to
feedback.
tourism for allowing me to, have semi-full control of that and giving me the opportunity to be seen. Because before it was, no, you can't even tie your name to any of these projects, which now decreases your value. So if you decrease your value, then now I need to make that up somewhere. There you do that because you get negative points on the scoring card for pricing, right? So now that I was able to add my name to this post, I got more value. And I mean, I can cut down price for you too.
Yeah.
Right? So have conversations, respect each other. Door swings both ways. They got work.
Listen, because Sanjay, when you were mentioning if the RFP doesn't fit that project per se, you're a little like, but you've been awarded when it absolutely does fit and it makes sense to you.
Yes.
Which kind of brings me back to that previous question, which was, do you sometimes feel the RFPs might be written in a way that it's supposed to kind of go to somebody and you're actually not going to win that?
I don't
go ahead and bid, but
I don't have experience in that, but I've showed that to certain people. And they'll look at that, that's written for you not to get that. Right? I don't have that experience to be able to look at that and be like, that's what that is.
Almost like job adverts that we would see.
Yes.
25 years experience, master's degree to be like a nanny.
That is,
exactly.
exactly.
That was crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Wood, good experiences?
Not very many. So, but
there's one.
I've had one under, and that's under the $500,000 bracket. And so I'm currently working through that. There's a number of them out there that I'm still waiting on answers for, and which I know that it's hard to get answers to know where you're really at on any of those. So it's suffice to say that my experience has not been good, especially in my realm of my sphere of the work. Which involves more of the interior stuff. I mean, I'm just looking at this here in front of me. And the directives you're given here, you're going to bid something from Amazon. You're going to bid something from Home Depot. I mean, come on. And you go on Amazon today, you may find what is there, but go tomorrow, it's not apt to be there.
Right. Absolutely.
You go to Home Depot today. Home Depot is A.L. Thompson's. You can go to A.L. Thompson's today and find it. Tomorrow it's not going to be there. The fact is, and the difference is between us, maybe we buy from the same companies. I've sat shoulder to shoulder with the buyers at Home Depot. And I even asked them when the rep said to me that we had to leave the room when Home Depot walked in. And I said to them, why? Why should we leave? I said, they ain't no better than me. I might not be able to buy the amount that they can buy, but they're buying in a lower bracket than what I am. They're buying in more volume. We carry maybe on the same brand level, but they carry here, I carry here. they don't want that because that's not the marketplace.
I have to go to a really quick commercial break right now. I missed it from a few minutes ago. So let's go to a quick commercial break. When we're going to come back, we're going to have just a few minutes to finish our discussion, guys. It's been really good so far.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Cruise into summer with expert service from Automotive Art Cayman. More than a retail store, it's your one-stop auto care shop. We offer paint, detailing, accessories, wheels, Yamaha parts and products, batteries, tire repairs, tire changes, and more. Need top-tier shine and protection? Grab Gliptone detailing gear, Chevron synthetic oil, and Axiom car care kits. Get expert service with premium products all under one roof. Wherever you cruise, make your pit stop at Automotive Art first. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
If you think of HPV as a woman's problem, think again. Cervical cancer is not the only type of cancer linked to HPV. Other cancers linked to HPV include throat, mouth, and neck cancers, making it everyone's problem. The HPV vaccine is our best protection against HPV-related cancers. It is recommended for everyone, male and female, and for those under the age of 25. All it takes is a single dose for protection. For more information, contact the Public Health Department on 244-2648 or 244-2889.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. We are just in our last few minutes, about 6 minutes before we got to end the show, and it's a procurement roundtable discussion. I have in studio Robert Wood from Robert Wood Furniture and Interiors, Sanjay Burrell, Jordan Construction, and Keevon Douglas from HD Digital. And we talked about the bad, we talked about the frustrations, we got a couple of solutions, a couple of ideas out there, and because we're in the last 6 minutes, any other solutions, what would make it easier for you, better for you, more transparent, solutions that we can implement even right now to make it a better process?
I can jump in real quick.
Oh, yes, you can.
I think I would love to have the policy make let's look at the chief. Who is the chief of Cayman right now? So we need to sit down with the premier, right? This is a massive issue. So understanding it at the top and making that come down. So sitting down with business owners and what are the problems? Mm-hmm. What are the problems you're having? Because these problems are affecting our end product. To me, that can solve it, because you don't need to have conversations with chief officers, and because they operate in silos. So let this come from the top. This is our premier problem. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it needs to go any further than that. Like, that's the solution for it. Like, hear us out. These are the problems. And now I'm going to disperse this to my team. And now we're going to fix that. That's how any business would work. Right? So we don't need to change that. We don't need to reinvent that wheel. So I think that is the king of solutions.
And one of the other solutions you had as well was about that grading system within Bonfire.
So that would be, I think, coming down.
But they already have.
No, so they have it in Bonfire to be automated. But I think in order to hold people accountable because they may be fined, or what was the terminology? The 80%.
Oh, the non-compliance.
Yeah, what was the
found
issue?
in the Auditor General's report.
Right.
They found that the procurement office was responsible for nearly 80% of non-compliance issues within government in 2024.
So then that needs to be looked at as a holistic approach. Let's say you have 8 ministries. I don't know how much there is, right? You need to figure out which one has the most, and you need to grade those ministries or those departments. Those departments need a grade every single 6 months, right? So you have this, and this, but that needs to come from the top. That is what I like about this current government. They are tearing it down in a sense and restarting it as much as they can, or turning that wheel as much as they can.
Why approve budgets if we're not going to go through the process of how that money is supposed to be spent? You know, the proper ways. Well, cabinet has to approve budgets. Yeah, you have to approve the ministry budgets.
The budget session was before this, right?
The report came out in
I thought.
The report came out.
Did they have a finance committee meeting now? They into session now and strategic.
Yeah, they did.
Statement.
They did. But the report that I'm talking about, the 2024 report, was just published a few weeks ago. So it was a report on what government did in 2024, a whole when it came to finances.
Oh, but would that be the previous government though?
It would be everything in 2024.
Yeah.
So yes, but half of the previous government is the current government as well.
Sense,
So yeah.
No, in a sense, yes and no, but they're more on the back bench, right? But this particular government, I think, is doing as much as they can to turn that, right? So this is what I'm saying is, if there's opportunity, back to Kenneth Bryan and his call where he was saying he cannot change the policies, right? He can't do that. What I should have said is, what have you done to try?
Mm-hmm.
You know, complaining about I can't do anything is, give me what you tried. Give me the solutions that you've done, because everybody can say problems, right? I think the solution for this is starting at the top, getting the premier to understand this is a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to come with a delusion that we're good, which was about my post yesterday. Cayman is not in a good place.
It's not. I agreed.
Right? So there's problems there. And it's not for the lack of reports, because they will hire people from outside to do reports. But,
we got to take action on the reports. So I'm going to bring it back to the point of, because Sanjay, you had a good soundbite that, I'm keep asking you to repeat here.
I know you're trying to lead to it.
But I'm, pushing it back to, so the premier is, if somebody to look at it and say, okay, this is how we've got to approach this and structure it. And again, if we're looking at the 57 violations that happened in 2024 from procurement issues, 57 violations.
That would be something that would alarm the premier anyway, or it should.
I think we have to look at who is signing off on things and that process.
Who is signing off on these things.
Yeah.
That could be the chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's not hard to see the paper trail of what happened and to say, okay, this is where the responsibility lied. There's an issue. But if we're not addressing it, what you allow is what will continue.
Yeah,
exactly.
In life, everything has risk and rewards. If you look at it yourself personally, if you decide, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to exercise, what is the benefit? You're going to feel better. You might live longer. In the private sector, you perform well, you get raised, you get bonuses, you keep your job. I think it's extremely hard to lead an organization or a business when there's no ramifications for not following the rules. How do you get that person to now adhere to the rules if all they're going to hear is don't do it again? Can you imagine if our penal system was like that? Mm-hmm. You commit a crime, the police just come and say, hey, don't do that again, and walk off. Mm-hmm. We'll never have any solutions to crime. So I think in government realm, how exactly can a chief officer or a minister get that group in line if there's no ramifications for them not following the rules?
Right.
I think that's a systematic problem.
A huge one. A huge one. Any other solutions or ideas that we can present to procurement office? They'll be, I think it's the 28th of October they're coming on with me.
Mm. I would love to come.
Yeah, well, I can always pitch that to them.
I think from the construction point of view, the requirements to get these points, because they grade on points. If you're only going to verify 2 projects, why assign so much points for listing 8 projects. If you're only going to verify 2, if 2 is enough for you to say, yes, this guy is qualified, he has enough experience to take on this job, then you shouldn't create another category of awarding points from listing projects. You're not going to verify them. They might have been terrible. The client might have something negative to say, but you won't know. It's just there on a list. So I think adjusting that requirement can bring on a lot more bidders for projects. The validity for these projects should be extended as well, saying that you need to list 8 projects that you've done in the last 5 years over $500,000 or over $1 million. That creates a very small pool of contractors that can meet that requirement. So you're handicapping yourself by just limiting yourself to that small pool. I think the mandatory letter of regret should be something that's non-negotiable. You should explain to a contractor why they didn't win that project.
Right.
And if the contractor should have the option to follow up, where exactly did I fall short? It doesn't have to be a sit-down meeting. You can detail it by email. Was it my price? Was it my methodology? Was it my schedule? Where did I fall short? And have that feedback. So going forward, I know I need to adjust this, I need to adjust that. Because quite a few jobs have been awarded and you have no idea. And you're sitting there like, what's going on? Then somebody else tell you, oh yeah, it's going on. And you're like, what? So more open communication would be very appreciated.
That is 100% true.
That's 100% true. I echo that.
I would like to see a standardized policy across all governments, departments, and ministries when it comes to the request for quotes. Not everybody interpreting what they should be doing on their own, per se, with that. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining me this morning. If there's any final words you want to say, we're a little over the show, so...
No, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Always a good conversation.
It is.
Thanks.
It is.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you coming on, and I do hope you continue bidding for projects and opportunities do come your way, and the people are listening, and we're going to have another further discussion with the Central Procurement Office to discuss what was said on today's show, discuss the solutions that were just suggested here, and I guess we're going to see what happens. So, but best we can do is have the discussion and get the conversation going and get people talking and make something happen.
Yes.
All right. Have a great Thursday, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. Oh, I forgot.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman, your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
You are listening to Radio Cayman.